Etia to a homai ki mātou, tō rangi Māori, tō aroha, tō kaha, tō maramatanga mō tēnei rā. God, give us your peace, your understanding, your wisdom to make good decisions for our community.
Amen.
Thank you. I'd like to call on any apologies and conflicts of interest. I'd like to put an apology in for Councillor Boyd. Is there any conflicts of interest, please?
Madam Chair, I am the Secretary of Delta Bay Promotions. I can answer any questions on the application, and I will not be taking part in any discussion or decision making in terms of that application.
Thank you. Any further conflicts of interest? Okay, all in favour? Do we have a mover and a second? Mover, a seconder? All in favour? Thank you. Is there anyone to speak in public forum today? Obviously. So we'll go directly to the speakers on for the applications. So the first one up is April Atkinson, representing the Surfability Trust. Welcome to the table.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sometimes I feel like I still have my dad standing behind my shoulder. Yes, I'm April Atkinson. I work for Surfability Trust, and for those that don't know, Surfability is an organisation who provides social service for all ages and all abilities. And the mission of Surfability is to identify social needs and look how social skills can benefit social outcomes for all people of all ages, all abilities and all cultures. So basically we bring people out of their isolation, out of their bubble, out of their group into the community, into their community, and into the wider public and let them shine on. And that identifying social needs is a big one for us. So last year we had quite a large event here at the Te Ahu Centre, which is what our application is for again this year. What a successful event. We had 207 participants, about 60 teachers, TAs, parent helpers and community, and it was a fabulous event. I could see I would have liked to have had a $2 event this year, but unfortunately it's not able to happen. A very full-on day with lots of fun, lots of laughter, lots of playing together. Any questions?
Any questions for April?
How many people or how many participants do you think you'll get through?
I would say possibly around the same, at 300 mark, yeah. So what we did last year is we bought, for myself and my two tutors here in Kaitaia, we also brought up tutors from Whangarei and Auckland, and we bought equipment like the aerial rigging, portable aerial rigging, and different skill sets up, and it was like just such a fun day. We had, so our partners were through Tarawa and Matakahu, which was a really wonderful coming together. And so we had Wuramu Sarich, who was running the traditional Māori bands. It was and nicely right in the middle of the hall. It was beautiful with all the stuff all around. This year it'd be nice to get some other activities, other games in as well. But again, it's a space thing with so many people coming. And it's just open to the general public. It's open to participants that we have worked with, schools and community groups, and also the public if they would like to come and participate here.
Question?
Yeah.
How's it being received nationally?
Circus is huge. So Circability itself is growing. It started off just with the Auckland hub, and now we have the Northland hub, the Bay of Plenty hub, Wellington hub, and Christchurch hub. So it's definitely growing, and the need is there. And we also have a wider service network. So stretching back right back to the beginning of the 2000s with Circus Kumarani in Dargaville, but also internationally as well. So we've just had a circus conference earlier this year down in Auckland, where we had people from, where were they from? Finland. Soren Circus in Finland attend that and talk about the social side of circus and the benefits of circus and what they've done. They've got their professional side, and then they've got their social networks, as well as Micah in Australia.
Just one thing for myself. So, have you heard from Foundation North? It seems it's pending.
I can't answer that question, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on if we've heard back from Foundation North.
Right. Okay.
I can find out and email you.
If you could email Catherine
Yes,
before in the next hour and a half or so, that'd be
Absolutely.
really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any further questions? Right. Well, thank you so much for coming. Nice to see you.
Can I stay for a bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sure Catherine will let you know further on
Okay.
after we've made some decisions. So then, Margaret Aiden, was going to be representing the Doubtless Bay promotions. So
They came along
Perhaps-
last month.
yes,
so, yeah.
yes. So perhaps we can talk about that later on in the meeting. So it's Tracy Muller and Mark Thompson, is it, from the Hohora Game and Sport Fishing Club, are there to speak to their application. Thank you very much. Welcome to the table.
Thank you.
So today, Dr. Vice President. Apologies from Brian Bellingham. He's currently celebrating a very special birthday on the other side of the world. He's trying to admit that he's not getting old. He's in Ireland, so he does send his regards. The proposed upgrade of the concrete walkway is an essential improvement and safety issue to the public and members, which the club needs to complete. The financials indicate we may be struggling to find the 50% of the $13,000 required to complete this project. However, the next 3 months will bring in membership, renewals, our annual sponsorship income, and I have today's current balances for your information to see the momentum we've currently got. We'd like to update you on the recent improvements to the club, which have been funded by the club in January over the last 12 months. The painting of the main building, the toilets and the ambulance station. The club members supplied the paint at no cost to the club. The labour was supplied by the club members and employers. It involves the resealing of the complex precast concrete roof at a total cost of $110,000. The club members raising $10,500 in cash donations, with the balance donated through sponsorship, products, services and labour. Purchase of a new water filtration system to guarantee clean water supply to the club facilities at a cost of $900, with installation again completed by members. The strategy of leasing our
out the bar and kitchen will help us reduce operating costs and allow the club committee to focus on generating incomes. There are other options such as sponsorship and actual fishing competitions and tournaments. To finish, the committee would like to acknowledge the continued financial support from the community board over the last 3 years. We appreciate everything you have done for us. Again, thank you for your time and consideration.
Could you just explain to the board here what you propose to do with that stairway?
Yeah.
Please.
So what we've noticed is a huge increase since building owners of locals coming down and accessing down that staircase. And our community is not getting any younger, but they're bringing a lot of young home. By us creating a ramp so that they can get down simply, easily and safely with a handrail down the centre of it so they can actually hold it and they can take the hook corners down and go fishing or swimming any time of the year. And that's the thing that we're trying to do and getting rid of the uneven crumbling stairs that just as it has, especially for the older ones and also the little ones. We think it's really exciting to get down to the pool for a swim and then trying to eliminate all that risk.
So just make it clear, because I've been, where I work in the South Garden, there's all kinds of rumours are floating around, and I was told it was going to be a driving.
No, there's no driving. There's a rail line straight down the middle of it.
Thank you.
Definitely no driving down there. That's also part of the safety aspect of it, because if we had more cars, kids, it would just create a nightmare.
Just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah. So you have the rail down the middle. The rail will also have little, these are explain as jumps on it, speed humps, so the skaters can't use it as a skating launch pad thing. Yes.
Just one question. In terms of wheelchair use, etc., would it be
Yes. And walkers.
Yeah. Would the gradient fit there?
Yeah. We've got stone craft.
Yeah.
Stonecraft and Wilson Concrete have both top levels. I mean, it's an overlay of what's there, so there's no pulling out. Right.
Simple access.
Yeah.
So taking out the steps. Yeah, steps up, yeah.
Yeah. The steps will be covered with 120 mil concrete.
Yeah.
All the way down.
Just one question. You said you were going to be struggling with the 50%. So that was we thought you might perceive it being struggling based on our balances when we submitted our application. But I have the new balances of today. So our memberships are from 1 July to 30th of June. So we've got all our new memberships coming in. Plus we do our big fundraising and sponsorship drives now for the year. I'm thinking along the lines that perhaps there could be other funders that you might like to approach as well. I'm sure that Catherine Druin might be able to help you in that direction, maybe. Just letting you know who's out there that you can actually apply to.
Brian and I have had a lot of conversations and have been very successful elsewhere.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah,
We're on a mission.
that's good.
We are on a mission. We have done major work to the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
For protecting that. Is there any further questions from the board?
It's nice to see, guys, that these upgrades are there for the general public and not just members of the club. So it's good for everyone else to understand that. Like I see how many people are fishing off that wharf and everything else, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, I think, and that's the key. Yeah. Especially philosophy that we've had in the last 5 years. It's a community thing. Yes, It is a fishing club. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But big, it's beautiful, and it's there for everybody, and we just need to make sure it's awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. All good. That's the latest balances. Come to the edge this morning. Thank you very much. We'll be making decisions later on in the meeting. Thank you. And now we have Andrea Pender to talk to the Kaitaia Business Association.
Our application is about the street clean and beautification, so it's good that I get the opportunity to clarify some things, because I just want to acknowledge that it is the responsibility of the shop owners to keep their street frontages nice and tidy, and we do have some businesses in our main street who do a great job at that. Unfortunately, the majority don't. I also want to acknowledge that I know the council has a contract, which is now the city care, and I think we have a street clean twice a year. But the street clean is the footpath. So what we're asking for is assistance with water blasting. If you walk down the street and you look up in those veranda ceilings and the signs hanging down, they're just about black, brown, grey with all the road grime, and so that doesn't get included in the council contract because that's the buildings. So it was about tidying that up so that by the time our summer influx come, our town looks pleasing for not only our residents who use us as a service centre, but also our visitors who we get a big influx in summer, so that the town looks really good. Gardens don't get covered in any contract with the council, so for the last couple of years the Kaitaia Business Association have allocated some of our funds to do the gardens. We've only allocated 8,000, but the quote's 15 to do it properly. So we're just doing like tidy ups, particularly the roundabout, etc. At Pekingese, which is like the entrance to our town. So so we've been, people probably don't know, but we've been spending a bit of money on beautification, but we don't have enough to cover. Aside from asking for that, at our next meeting, we're ready to do a report for it, the money that we got a couple of years ago for the master plan, and there's about 8,000 that we haven't spent. So I guess if you were favourable for the street clean, I'm asking, rather than giving us money, can we use some of that leftover on that? Otherwise, at our next meeting, we'll be looking at doing a report to give 8,000 back from that. Any questions?
Good deal. Lock it in.
And all the
Is there any questions for Andrea?
I don't have any questions, sorry, but I just one comment is on the little ticky touring around New Zealand I've been doing of recent, Kaitaia definitely stands out and different and tidy and progressive, and yes, it really has. And I think if we can further, keep that maintain that, that look and that feel. And I've had so many people from away come up and just be, wow, that's, really blown away with how great it is looking. And it just gives everyone a good feel. So well done to you and the business association.
Mostly that revitalisation project. But
This one, Andrew. From the turn-off to Tri-Board Mill, footpathing all the way through there, is there any way we can tidy up all those drains? To me, that's I'm just asking, is it part and parcel of your guys, or is it in local industry?
All in the big map, that area. So but we were, to be honest, focusing from
I know.
the roundabout through that was a good point.
Andrea, just a question around the Pekingese roundabout, which I know you organise quarterly, would it be, with those ladies? Have we, the new owner, not real new, he's really approachable, and I wonder whether we should, as the KPA, ask him if they'd look after that, and then that money that we spend could go to some of the other gardens. I don't know, just a question.
Yeah, I do see, I'm not sure who organised it, but I do see do the gardens all around the car park. So
That would be probation.
Yeah, that's probation. But it'd be it's probably something they're not aware of. You know what I mean? That way the KBA is actually paying for that. Well, if that money could be spent somewhere else, like in the main street, I don't know, just a question.
I also find it troubling that whenever they put a garden in or a thing in, it's never something that, it's always something that requires a lot of maintenance. Like there's always weeding and there's always so much maintenance. Is there any way to make that less?
Yes, so Waiting Wild did some of the gardens around the old warehouse building and those planter boxes, and they did put in the weed mat stuff. Yeah,
But I mean, like the roundabouts, stuff like that.
yeah, I'm not sure who put that in. I guess it would have been
A long time ago.
Yeah,
Make it so on
yeah, yeah. It looks like there's no weed out there at all, but I don't know.
Any other questions for Andrew? Well, thank you for coming. And tomorrow, just a reminder, the town square having a fun day for the kids in school holidays. So
And it's really good because it hasn't really been advertised that well, but there's Bounty Castle and that mini golf from Chris Ballard and then pop-up shops from REAP with different education about not drinking, etc., drinking and driving. Yeah, so there's quite a lot going on, and the stage has got entertainment on it constantly from 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Officers around there.
yeah. So, is there any, no, there's no further people to speak, so we can get on with the. We'll now go to page 8, which is the previous minutes. Confirmation of the previous minutes. Madam Chair. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
A few amendments. Peggy, you're a principal advisor, aren't you? Not a principal advisor. You don't advise us on our principles. So could we just change that spelling, please? And also, Dean is Dean Radojkovic, which is Radoj. That's number 5. Speakers, Paula Island and Dean.
Oh, it just says representing, it doesn't say a surname.
Yeah, so Radoj Kovich. And item 7.1D, funding applications, I didn't move that. So can we correct it to whoever did move it, please?
Yeah, so that's been corrected and it's online. Online is corrected, it's just in the agenda, it's not.
No, but you just put it, when you say the minutes are received or okayed or whatever, subject to the following amendments, that's how you do the resolution, eh?
So, yeah, these were all, they're not supposed to say committee recommendation, and also the 7.1D as well, where it said you had moved. So that's all been corrected and published on the website. So that's all been corrected.
So she did the correction already, bringing it to her attention.
Yeah, but it says here that the Hiku Community Board reconfirms the minutes to be a true and correct record, and it should really say subject to the following amendments.
Yeah, so the amendments were, so you, yeah.
Through the chair, I just noticed a quote for some posters in the circuitability
Oh,
that has
okay.
been done through my business. I would never clue, but so conflict of interest for the circuitability application for John. Thank you.
I should tell you, mate.
You can say that when we come to it.
Okay.
Okay, all sorted? So I'll move it. Do I have a second, please?
Darren.
With the alterations. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you. So 7.1, which is on page 20, which is the new lease to the Te Rugby Club Incorporated. I noticed that there's the submissions that turned up in some of the states, so we didn't hear any of that, did we?
No, we didn't get any confirmation of that. So no one attended.
We've already been in one, so. Leslie was here.
Yeah, I know, but what I mean is all the submissions, and someone wanted to speak to the submissions, so we not have a hearing.
They didn't. That's indicated.
So do I have a mover, please, for this one? We can.
Second.
And who's the second?
Yep.
Right.
Hmm.
Is there any discussion on this one? Because I'm quite happy with this one. It's 15 plus 15, so that's in 30 years.
Happy with it?
I'm happy with it. Through the chair, that was similar to the previous one, 30 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean the one at Tangoni Domain?
No, I'm just saying, the previous
Oh,
lease.
previous, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, that, no problem.
So all in favour?
Aye.
Thank you.
Gosh, you've got people from the Gold Coast. Or you can...
Oh, by the way, welcome, Councillor. Sorry, I meant to say that earlier.
Gold Coast.
We're up to page 45, which is the funding application, starting off a new financial year now. So we'll just go through each one. Yep. Okay. So the first one up is the Suitability Trust, which is on
Page 15.
yeah.
Through the chair, I'll just abstain from this,
Yes,
with a conflict of interest.
conflict of interest, which you didn't realise till. Now you listened to what April had to say, so is there any,
Just, yeah, just listening to you, April, and previous talking to earlier, it just seems it's getting the following that it was designed for, not only locally but nationally. It's not a vast amount of money. And they seem to be doing real well.
Could we find out about the Foundation North funding first?
yes, shall we come back?
She's only just left, so.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, but could we just,
shall we do that one at the end, shall we? Hopefully she'll get back to you.
Hopefully. As soon as I have anything, I'll let you know, but.
When is the event?
Not until October.
Oh, so if necessary, can we leave it to lie on the table and consider it maybe, or not?
It's your decision.
I tend to sort of support it, listening to what
Yes, yeah.
people had to say.
Without finding out about the,
Once we find out, I tend to support it, but we should find that out about
yes,
the
okay,
foundation
so
before
shall
we
we
make a
leave that one
decision.
to lie on the table for
Yeah,
next
no,
month? Bring
okay.
it back next month.
at least we hear before the end of the meeting?
Yes, yeah.
Aisha's good.
Because that is something you want to just leave it to consider at the end of the meeting. But you could also find that subject to approve or confirmation that they're not receiving.
Oh, that's an idea.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha.
And you'll give Marissa the correct
Through
wording
the
later.
chair, or you could just give them something towards it. And I know I'm not voting, but I'm allowed to speak.
Yeah.
And it's done.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
The only thing I'm concerned about is the refreshments, but I'm not very keen on the refreshments, but on the actual application. it's that sort of thing that we,
Yeah, we do.
And through the chair, they did ask for only 5,000, so I didn't recommend that one.
Pardon?
They asked for over 5,000. So you can specify the
Yes.
funding. Okay, and I said that before.
Through the chair, I think I noticed that probably we've done this for quite a few years now. Catherine, would be right with the suitability.
They've applied for, they haven't always received funding.
Okay. Yeah.
Several of them have been unsuccessful.
Let's give them the time to come back to us, and then at the end of the meeting, if we decide if they haven't heard back or it's declined, then we'll just make a decision on.
Okay, at the end of the meeting. Okay, that's fine. We'll move on to the next one then. So we'll come back to that one. Okay, at the end of the meeting. So the next one is the Doubtless Bay Promotions Society for $10,000.
So I'm here to answer questions, or I can leave the room, whatever makes you happy.
So one of the questions from me is around, hold on, I'll just go to the application. Is around the furniture. What did they do before?
They had furniture that came with the building.
All the buildings.
Yep. They had desks, chairs, whatever. They stay in there, in the premises that they've just vacated.
And even just the one prior to that as well.
I don't know. I was not around at that time, but presumably if they had it, it would show up somewhere. But all I know is that the furniture stayed with the building that they vacated.
Because what I'm a bit concerned about is, and I'm sure Peggy's been working with the group for the future, around the future, and it does say this is for this year only. And as if we put our money into brand new furniture, what's going to happen to the brand new furniture if they decide to go on a maternity?
Sustainable funding is a tricky one for most community organisations. So it really needs that work to look at income, revenue streams beyond grant funding. Very hard one to answer.
It is, yeah.
I would like to think that, having worked for numerous councils, they often have quite a lot of surplus stuff. Maybe we should look around at work. Council.
Well, I've actually got a chair at home that's a good computer that is surplus to me because I've got a brand new one. So
I imagine that wanting the fit out would want to be looking like a nice shop space and a nice
Professional.
It has to be, good quality and nice conditions. So yeah, what you don't want is to look.
No, not shabby. So how about the signage and promotion photos? So what happened to all the past ones? Are they all sort of...
They couldn't be removed from the wall without damage.
Oh, okay.
And once again, they need to look tidy, which is why new ones have been applied for.
The refresh of the website and the Facebook page is well worth it. My personal opinion is I think that in the interest of the Doubtless Bay community and business community, it's a worthwhile activity. There just needs to be some really good work around how to make it a sustainable one past, grant funding, and that's always going to be the challenge.
That's why we've got you.
Yeah, partnering up with and maybe looking at what our local sites can offer. There's quite a lot of material, informational material.
Yeah.
I think it really often really reflects that our district, we all live so far away. It's not easy to spend as much time as you need in an area when you don't actually live there. So I just think there is a lot of value in the work that they do, particularly around the festival. And it is a vibrant business district area.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, their Facebook page also has 10,000 people, and people do use that or do approach Doubts Bay Information for queries about living, working and investing in that area, just saying.
Yeah, and I think that the value proposition is around working and connecting this little information centre with the destination movement and the businesses in investing in the area. You know, attracting people to work, live and play is kind of the mantra of all councils. There's a lot of investment goes into attracting people to come and play, but not necessarily to work and live often. You know what I mean?
Having said that, the viability of this outlet, the whole ICEF, would that be looked at the end of the financial year?
No, it's not my call.
Okay.
But I do think that small information centres like this are often reliant on a council contribution or a community grant contribution from some perspective. The potential would lie in looking at what kind of funding it gets, maybe through membership. So like being actually a business association through a small membership fee, etc. But that takes a little bit of time. And it's sort of changing that mindset from being a group of volunteers who are, you know, contributing to their voluntarily to actually having a little bit more of that business lens. It's a very difficult line to cross from a community organisation to one with a slightly different mission.
So what would happen if we were to just fund it for this particular, to the 30th of June maybe? So what would happen after that? And that would be the final payment. So, you know, it says here that you're looking at other options in the and started working with the applicant on options for the future.
So that's relationship building, isn't it? What they need to do in the next 6 months to a year, in my opinion, and I'm not, you know, the whole expert, is to start to develop relationships with other funders and other organisations in order to promote themselves. But at the moment, they've been relying on one particular source of revenue, which is the council. And now it's like, well, what is your relationship like with Foundation North? What's your relationship with COGS? You know what I mean? Through Department of Internal Affairs. I don't think that's necessarily being explored. And I think that Catherine and I would be quite good assets and you know, they just need to start looking at different various forms of income.
Yes.
And COGS is quite a good one. But that's my whole thing is around maybe they need to start put an economic spin on it, a business lens, rather than just, you know, to move from being a voluntary group that is promoting the township as lovely locals. It might need to actually show a value proposition for businesses who might then say, well, we'll pay a $30 membership. You know, that kind of thing.
Well, I actually thought businesses did pay a membership.
And sponsorships and other different forms of attracting funding. So
they do pay memberships.
How many members are there?
I think it's about 200, I think.
And what is the membership fee?
I don't.
You don't
know? I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, I've got them.
Haven't been here long enough.
Just one question. With the other funders like COGS, et cetera, is it a prerequisite to be incorporated or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to have just like.
Yeah, that's that business thing with you guys.
Well, I've provided the workbook which covered a lot of the stuff, right? But I just think it's very difficult for small organisations, and it takes a little bit of time to walk that path, and it could very well mean, I've been very realistic from the outset. You need to be very aware of the fact that you might not be able to exist.
No, sorry, through the chair. Why I ask the question is because a lot of the incorporated societies that I would believe in my ward, same question is being asked. Do we want to carry on? Can we carry on? And just looking at the viability in the long term.
Just one quick question, Cheryl. You know how they've got the total cost 71,000. I take it that's for the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And if they got 10,000 from us, where would the rest of the funds come from? Is that
Some of them come from membership. I don't know, to be honest. I haven't been there long enough.
yeah, like if we gave 10,000,
Yeah.
will they actually be able to see through the
And they get money from tours and,
right?
you know, booking buses and things like that. But I'm not really too clued up with what else they do.
I just want to make sure that if the 10,000 came from us, that they actually can see through the year, you know, knowing that they need 71, they need another 60. You know,
The 71, part of that is the volunteer labour component. So,
yeah.
so the value of those volunteers is a lot of money, but you don't actually pay them.
There's not only tourists, a lot of tourists can bypass Wanganui as well.
Well, not just Wanganui, it's Doubtless Bay. Doubtless Bay is the destination. Yeah.
Doubtless Bay, and I mean, there's people who don't call into Wanganui obviously bypass. Some of them don't even know where Wanganui is, and they don't go there probably. They're just heading north. And I guess if there was a mobile a caravan that was possibly parked at Cable Bay opposite the store or outside the business area in Taipa where there's a big flag for information, and people use their phones all the time today. So I'm just sort of putting it out there because I'm just saying there's other options as well that need to be looked at. And
can I just please speak to that, Madam Chair, because a caravan was considered, but being in the centre of Wanganui was a preferred option because it's somewhere that you don't have to pay for a caravan, nobody has to store a caravan, nobody has to move a caravan around, and nobody, if for example a caravan is parked at Cable Bay for 2 nights and then decides to go to Hihi for a couple of nights and people are expecting to see it in one place and it's not there, that's annoying. So that's when
he's really not a destination, so it's not one place that I think that you would put a caravan.
I haven't gone too much into that, but reality is before COVID, when the information centre operated in Wanganui, the statistics showed that the amount of foot traffic that were there equalled or bettered Kaitaia's, to be honest, and that's when the 9 offices were open, because people find Doubtless Bay as a destination too, and they don't always know that there are attractions further north, like the hub now, etc.
Cheryl, will they put signage on the main State Highway 10, you know, at that Wanganui turn-off, just to say that there is an information centre down there, or, you know, just to draw people? I mean, most people who come north would probably go along the Wanganui waterfront.
Yeah.
I think if you're a tourist, that is. But
haven't looked at that because, you know, I don't know whether it involves NZTA or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is when it was in a central location before, it did well, then it moved around the corner and didn't do so well because of the location, basically. But it does want to expand its activities a bit. For example, there's something through what's it called, Northern Inc., a Save a North thing where, you know, various firms around the place have things to eat and you go and have long lunches there and see what the produce is and buy the produce. There's lots of plans in the wind, but first of all, we have to know that we've got some money.
Yes, through the chair, that's a program that's running through Destination Northland for a couple of months, which is a food event that you can travel through the north, eating your way through. That's what I mean about the connections. That the reality is moving from that voluntary organisation that sits there to be a credible visitor eyesight. They're going to have to create relationships with the people who can help. With all, so linking into those events, stepping out of just looking after your little eyesight, because you're going to have to attract those visitors before they get there, not when they get there. So I think that there is a fair bit of work to be done in that space, and I think that the organisation has to understand that. Are they ready for that?
Through the chair, I'll lay my cards on the table. I was obviously thinking of a lesser amount, but having said that, with the help of council staff, which is imperative that we do that for the whole community, I'd like to recommend we grant 8,000.
8. Do I have a seconder, please?
Aaron.
Is there any discussion on 8? Would this be a final amount from the board for this particular?
Through the chair, it depends what the application is for personally. Say they wanted a digital box that shows tourists where to visit the far north, and it was going to cost $10,000. I'd say, hey, let's do it. But if they're applying to keep the place running, then possibly not.
I think that's the main thing, is to keep the place running. But again, they need help.
Yeah.
We've got that expertise, and we really need to use it.
Yeah.
I see the value of it. I see the passion there, and sometimes that's what you need. Just to get it going and to look at themselves and make it more sustainable.
Yeah, I'm thinking yes to the 8. I wasn't really opposed to the 10 either, but I think it would be great to pull on some council resources for furniture if they have, excess furniture they're using and it's smart and would fit well with that, Yeah,
because what would worry me if it's only lasted a year, what are we going to do? Brand new furniture that people are,
It's a good chance for council to step up and help them where they can.
I'll talk to you. I know the eyesights have had some upgrades and they must have, but we've got the ability to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our funding through the chair can be around providing the service. At the end of the day, it doesn't have to be around the buying a chair.
I think the Facebook and the website with promotional stuff is a really good angle, and how they use it, and actually there needs to be stuff like through the chair for our people and this. They probably need to have a little bit of upskilling even of that. Right? So Instagram, and are they using Instagram and different? How are they using the Facebook and the website as opposed to just having them sitting there and expecting people to go there? Nowadays, so Northland Link does do some really good digital training, so it might be just talking about stuff like that as well, because using that digital platform is the secret, I would think. Educate more minutes.
Yeah, I move 8,000.
Darren seconded.
Second it.
Is everyone happy with that? All in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. Well, I've just had notification about the Suitability has received the 6,030 from Foundation North. That's been confirmed.
And that's that 50% they were up to.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you want to do it at the end of the meeting, or do you want to go back to that one now?
Through the chair, did you mentioned their the expenses to rent Te Ahu? Through the chair, you mentioned the expenses. Originally, we mentioned this expenses for the hiring of Te Ahu could be an option.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not voting on it, but I'm allowed to speak to it.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that granting the.
It's a granting of the venue.
Yeah, I'd like to move that. That we grant that venue hire.
Just the venue hire.
Venue hire.
Okay. Seems up there.
Contribution.
Yeah. We're just going to support the on the seekability one. So who moved that? Bill and Rachel, and for the venue hire. All in favour? Thank you.
521.73, I think.
Yeah. So the next one is on page 66, which is the regular capital review. Moved.
Seconded.
Yes, it's full value, that one. Any discussion on this one? No? All in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. Let's see. On page 75. Now you heard the fishing club. I can move this one.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Through the chair, I mentioned it while they were here, and that particular wharf is becoming a hotspot for everybody, not just the members, which is good to see. So I know the club has been to us quite a bit in the previous years, but everything we've given them has mainly been infrastructural type things that are around for everybody to use. I support it.
Through the chair, they did get $20,000 towards the wall, and they actually turned that into $250,000 that they got from other funding sources. Yeah, so this board has helped them do all of that, and they've been really amazing what they're pumping out there.
They certainly have. You're moving, Joe?
So all in favour?
I think it was moved.
Yeah, we've already done that.
And I've seen it.
All in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. So on to the, I think the Kaitaia business of one has been left to lie on the table, is that right?
Well, that's what they decided. It's the next recommendation. Through the chair, Andrew said they may still be $8,000 there. That may pay to leave that till next month. I have another funding application that will be coming to you next month. I can find out how much money they have left and bring the recommendation to you for the balance.
Okay, that'll be really cool. Yeah, because I needed to sort out that excess money. Yeah.
I think that would be a good use of that.
Yeah, so we just lie on the table until next month. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone happy with that? Yep. Thank you. Oh, a mover and a seconder to lie on the table. I'll move it.
Second.
Thank you. Next one is on page 89, which is the Kaitaia Croquet Club. This is a 100-year event.
Yeah.
It's 115 years.
Yes, I went through the supporting stuff on the weekend, so. We'll have a mover for this one.
Aaron, me.
Darren.
Full second.
Goes. Any discussion on this one? I think it's good value.
I think any sporting thing that caters for not just young people, but young and old, men and women, needs to be supported.
But this is an event for him.
Oh, yeah, I know, but it's a club. And it's kept in immaculate condition all the time.
Through the chair, a lot of the faces we see there, I see there on a Saturday, they've been part of this community for a long time.
That's right. That all in favour?
Oh,
And so we come to the last one on page 895. Now, this is a national event, I think.
And this is just for the Kaitaia.
Yes.
Through the chair, this brings up some problems for me, just thinking about it in terms, is this part of our role, or is it a national, should be addressed nationally? I'm just saying that. Yeah.
Central government.
Central government, yeah.
Yeah, this is a group that stepped in because the funding isn't there from central government.
They're applying for $500 for fresh flowers and $4,500 for, well, these are their expenses, gift bags and stationery.
What they've applied for is the equipment hire and the venue hire.
Right, sorry.
To be consistent, do you think we should just do the hamerage
I think.
of the venue? Consistency.
I think there's some sound and lighting and stuff from memory.
Excuse me. Yes, there is.
I'd second the
Consistency.
hireage of the hall as a contribution.
Who was moving it?
Oh, sorry, I thought you did.
Oh, well, I can do that. Oh, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
To be consistent with the other event.
Okay, I'll second it.
Any discussion? Just on the venue holder. Yep. All in favour? Thank you. So that ends in funding applications. So we're up to 7.3, which is the project funding reports from Hiku, Aroha and Aotearoa Business Association. Can we have a mover, please?
I'm with it, John.
Second,
Darren,
excuse me.
It's nice that they put their message on the
Yeah,
digital sign.
it is. But we're in favour? So we're up to the open information report, which is the open resolution report, sorry, big pardon, on page 110. So I'll move it. Do I have a seconder, please?
No.
So I think there's a few things that we need to put on this particular report, especially people when they come to us in public forum and talk to us. Like, for instance, Mr. Wagner, who came on behalf of the Hohora residents and gave us a letter. Excuse me. I don't think that's on here anywhere. It needs to be on here because we need to keep following these at the bar. Do you have anything else?
Through the chair, I was talking to Cheryl just a while ago, and there are a lot of issues in my ward alone that have been standing for years, basically, and I still have to follow those up, etc., etc. Is this a platform that we can use to put those in? For example, just off the top of my head, Moraine Place. I get no answers. The previous community board member here got no answers for 10, 15 years. And it just seems to be, a lot of this work just seems to disappear over time if you're not following it, if you're not pursuing it. And I said, you'll see in my report, I said, as soon as the rain starts, things like that start again. And nothing's done. No response, no, sorry, Bill, we'll leave this to next year. That I can handle, but no response at all is just driving me, yeah.
So, have you?
I'm not saying about rain at this stage. I'm just saying, is this a platform for that? Because I really wanted something like that where they have to address it and we have to address it.
Not the agenda is not the platform. It filters through me.
Okay.
And then I have to follow that.
Okay.
Sorry, he's only talking about the action sheet they did.
Oh.
He's not talking about the agenda. It's a community board action sheet, which is something that we added in 2 years ago, which has actually given us support.
I don't believe unless it's, I don't believe it is, but let me check that and
Thank you.
come back.
Yeah. It's really important because it's getting to the point where it's,
Okay,
it's hard to move on.
Been out again, I'm so sorry, but my understanding is that these tables that you get on your agenda are just resolutions that have been passed.
Right.
So if there was a resolution that you've made,
We can put it there.
it could be added.
Thank you.
So you have made a resolution in the past, haven't you?
No, I don't think I have.
No, they're just REPs.
That's right,
it's
REPs.
just an REP.
And so I would, that's good. That's all I want to know. Can that be used?
So we really can't put on the Hohora ratepayers issue when they come through public forum either, unless we do a resolution about it.
Well, we're on the subject of things that just seem to come and then disappear. I mean, simple things like the airport, updates on the airport and things like that. Why can't we put it there? Just so it's constantly on our table and on everyone else's.
Madam Chair, on Bill's report, he has got a statement regarding Marianne Place, and I believe it would be appropriate to put on the resolution, make a resolution. Please tell us where we're going with this.
Sure.
And then it will go on that.
So we can do that from our reports.
I believe so. And then Bev will have to follow it all up for us. Thank you, Rachel.
So the drainage meetings, like the drainage issues are here on our open resolution page, and the drainage meetings are coming up in September. So hopefully we can get some updates at those meetings that we can bring back to the board as well. And so the last update from Tanya Proctor is currently in the last stage of contract finalisation. Now, is that to do with the spraying? Is that to do with digging in the drains? I don't know. So,
Madam Chair, the bottom line is, at the last meeting, when Dean Radokovich came to talk about the Waihara Hall, I asked him if he was satisfied with the way the Drainage Committee and the drainage workers going? He said no. So that tells you they're paying, and they've been paying for years for who knows what. And it isn't good enough.
So here's our footpath issues here on this agenda. So do we know who's going to be bringing, now the MTA has disbanded, does anyone know if Elizabeth Stacey or anyone like that is still?
We've only heard that we know of the MTA.
Yeah.
And as for reading, it's supposed to come back in-house.
Yes, it's happening this month, isn't it? Yeah.
So,
we don't know who's.
that.
Okay. So we might have some answers next month, do you think?
Well, next week is the infrastructure committee meeting Tuesday to Coco.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So,
Okay, thanks.
So through the chair, I myself have done a lot of work with Elizabeth, and none of it's been completed. Pedestrian crossings in Pukenui, footpaths in Pukenui. I do need someone to pick it up and keep going with it because they have major safety aspects. Mobility parking in Kaipai, we spent a whole day on that only a month ago. 2 months ago, sorry. And if that's all lost, then that makes you wonder what winters it can't be lost.
Well, hopefully it won't be. Get the right person, hopefully.
Because Elizabeth was quite brilliant.
Whether she's staying with this council or going to Whangarei or Kaipara, I'm not sure.
I mean, sorry, through the chair, if we're going to be notified in possibly a month, within a month, I mean, we can, if we get no response then, or it doesn't, we can put those in as resolutions too. It just makes sense, mate, and then we're on the radar again.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Is there any further discussions on this particular?
well, you were requesting that you'd like a report. I'd like a report from about the Kaitai Airport too.
Yeah.
You know, if you could move a resolution to ask that we have a update on that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Sorry, through the chair again. That's the biggest thing is about just dropping the ball for half the time, and then later on with business, and then it comes up again, and you're always trying to catch up. You're always trying to see what's happened before. That's
So are you moving? Do we want to report on the
Yes,
report?
yes, I'm moving.
I'll second that, thank you.
Here's my Mokopono nephew going to check out the sports hub.
Through the chair, do we have any update on the toilet at the girls' site? That's something that goes on and on.
Something. Among others.
We just need to be more definitive.
I've been
We weren't allowed to
I've
do
been
that.
advocating for the upgrade of the Mangamuka toilets. It's
They're not ours.
Roslyn, Catherine space.
So did you add the resolution?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there a mover in that moved, Carl, and who was the second? Okay, all in favour?
No.
Hugh?
Did we get the marine one? Yeah, too. Thank you.
And the Hohora ratepayer letter.
Could we have, are you going to put something in there about the Hopewell ratepayers letter?
Yep, so yeah, we've got
Okay.
that
Okay.
attached.
So I've got one more, please, which is my report on page 125.
We'll go to the report and we can do it for the resolution.
Well, as long as it goes on that thing, yeah.
Or anything else from this page?
So, Madam Chair, I can ask for Bill. What Bill was raising about Hatutati Karikare, a number of issues that have been not addressed by RFS. So were you wanting to move a resolution there about specific things, or are you going to do that at the next meeting?
Well, originally, there was a lot of issues at Wharafifi, right through that peninsula. And there was supposed to be a meeting held. We were notified the meeting was coming. We were supposed to be let know when it was. Definitely, that didn't happen. So it's really hard when it's your ward and you're not invited to any meeting with council. I was inspecting some of the issues that are huge to us.
I agree. Would it be possible to, I can't suggest this because I'm not a board member, to request that, you know, any sort of follow-up RF works in our area that, you know,
In our ward, yeah.
in our area, you know, that the local Te Hiku Community Board reps be present, because they're the ones who most know the community, so that there's a lot of, you know, hands-on involvement and good local feedback. And because we were waiting for that meeting to happen, which is about a number of sewage leakages, and I don't know if it happened.
It did happen apparently, and I spoke to Ms. Proctor last Thursday, and it did happen, but she obviously has so much on her plate that she didn't come back to us to confirm that it was actually happening.
Through the chair, I have no problem accepting that. I mean, I didn't even get notification that I wasn't notified, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I think it's an important principle to have that staff work with community board members who know their communities, and because one leak would probably, you know, move on to 10 leaks.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, you'll save a lot of council money by having one visit and addressing 10 things rather than.
Exactly. I'll second.
You'll have to move it actually.
I'll move that.
I'll second that.
Through the chair, I suppose we'd have to have some sort of size of RFS. You know, if it was going to be more of a meeting, community-involved meeting, well, definitely.
As opposed to overhanging vegetation.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. And these were major areas, yeah, sewage.
Oh, 100%. I've heard you for the last 3 years, Bill. Yeah.
So yes, to word it, to work with the community board members and councillors when they're addressing issues in the respective communities, I suppose. Yeah.
So through the chair, have we created a resolution for request of report on marine police?
Yes, we have a separate one. Yeah.
Is that an RFS though, or a resolution?
No resolution.
It's going to be on here as well.
We've sent through ours, coming through our ears.
We just do the report account?
Yeah, that's it too.
So all in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. Shall we do our reports, or shall we have to have a break?
No, do our reports and get the thing out of the way.
Okay. So let's complete that one on our reports. 8.2. Do I have a mover, please?
Welcome.
Second one. Rachel. Please have my report as read. Is there any questions on my report? And then on to Darren. X. Linda X.
Mine you can take as read, but I've got just two questions. One question about the last two things on the report. It says inspector dispatched. Well, whoever was dispatched hasn't talked to me about what they saw or what they intend to do, and these are two drainage issues that absolutely need to be addressed. There's two blocked, broken culverts with blocked drains both sides of the culvert that have already flooded and sent silt all the way down Lamb Road into Pukenui School on 2 occasions, and we weren't forecast rain, but we had rain like we had yesterday. And we've got guys on site that could have already fixed this problem for free. They've got culverts there, they've got machines there, and we're doing our own culverts. I'm working on the side as well. we're doing our own culverts and drainage all over the place, but we need council to do these two at 130 Lamb Road, which is right outside the substation, crossing the road into our drain, and at 124, which is a bit further up on the other side of the road, feeding into the Mite Drive. And if we get a substantial rain, our field where the uprights are going for the panels is completely flat, and water's got nowhere to go. And I put these in on the 20th of the 6th. So inspected dispatched is not quite good enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair, can I ask you a question, Darren? How do you get that assigned to Fulton Hogan? I'm just, what is the process? Do they, does council?
When I rang up to put the RFS through, they gave me a phone number.
Oh, you rang? Okay.
And that's how it got assigned to Fulton Hogan.
Okay.
Oh, it shouldn't be happening.
So that's what did happen.
Yeah, I was just saying, what am I missing out on?
Well, through the chair, do you recall when Lois Strong had to call Fulton Hogan to find out when the servicing was going to be done? Came down here personally to ask about an RFS and got told to ring the contractor. It's just
That's
completely wrong.
And that's pretty much what happened to me.
the counter needs to.
Thank you.
Service centre counter needs some training by the sound of things. Right, is that you, Darren?
Yes, sorry. Yes, that's
So, Member Belkey?
Yeah, you can take one as reader. I just still have major questions around, I know it's not our delegation, but around schooling. That's just a big thing on my radar at the moment. And I'd love everyone just to keep their ears and eyes and thing open for that. I think that's going to come up as quite a big community discussion in the near future. And went on the Mangamoka Gorge visit the other day with, what's that company? Was it LSS? Is that the company name, John? Is that what you were saying?
Oh, CLL.
CLL.
No, CSL, sorry.
Whatever the letters are. Went on a visit through there to see just how massive that project is. Talked through all the costing and analysis they did on all the different options going via Broadwood, coming through the saddle, the whole shebang, and tunnels and everything. So it was real fascinating learning about that. But yeah, fixing the gorge is really the only viable option, and the feeling I got from them is that NZTA are very, very committed to the longevity of the Mangamokas. Is, you know, we all feel that they're not, but from the feeling I get from them, is they're very, very committed to getting it open and maintaining it. That was promising.
Thank you, Member Sabrowski.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Cheryl, for
You jumped the gun.
No, thank you. Jump the gun anytime. Just a couple of comments on the representation meeting at Pipi Hall. I think this issue is going to raise itself, and they were asking about fair representation, i.e., Maori's got nothing to do with Whakapipi. And hey, it was there for discussion, it was tabled, fine. And so, did they have that meeting at the East Coast? Sorry, I'm getting...
No, but what I can recall is that from the submissions that were, you know, there was great support, like from the written submissions online,
right,
about changing the name to Karikari, but we did have two strong objections from Hautatai Marangai and Te Runanga o Ngāti Kahu, who said that they didn't appreciate the change because of their reasons. You know, Yeah. And I thought, God, have we done all? We sort of had that kind of initial. I don't know how the name Kari Kari came up. So not about representation, like why Stowe and he be part of it.
Yeah.
They did object to the name Kari Kari.
Okay.
Yeah.
Through the chair, Bill, it's interesting, and a lot of it would be that people don't realise, because I couldn't believe when I lived at Waipat Ram, I was actually in the that's North Cape subdivision.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, so it's something that's been there for years, but who would ever think you'd be part of that subdivision? The names definitely aren't accurate to what they represent.
That issue came up in the Wharewhipi meeting, but again, we go back to the point that it was all based on numbers. It's a numbers game, and what is it, 10,000 or something like that, representation for each ward. That's all it was. So they divided it up accordingly. Yeah.
It could just about be Ward 1, 2, 3, like, you know what I mean? It's,
yeah.
But then no one know which one's number one.
No.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's my report.
Okay, Linda, Cambridge.
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. One of the things that I would like a resolution about, please, is on my report, and it's paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, starting, is there an operational budget for regular maintenance of channels? So, yeah. So I want a resolution to say this much there. So is there an operational budget for regular maintenance of channels, culverts and floodgates in the Kaitaia area? Are those assets insured, and is there public liability insurance if they fail and private property is damaged? What has the council done about wastewater resource consents and looking at discharge to land when there is nothing in the LTP for Kaitaia? That was part of our submission, and what I want to do is resolve, please, that we get a report on those things, and we want timelines for a report, when we're getting a report and when the work is being done or what has been done.
Is there anything in the budget as well?
Yeah, that. Well, all of those things, yeah. So I'm moving that, please.
I'll second it. So it's all the stuff from water. Yeah.
Because I think we should have had an answer, but, by now. So I could go on about this report. I've had a lot of queries from people in my area about, where money's gone and so on. But I understand the councillors are not going to get lunch anymore. Is that true?
And community board members.
Oh, yeah, obviously. But if that's going to make a difference to the budget, how much has been spent on such things in the past, I wonder? I'm not expecting you to know, but it must have been quite a bit. I would just like somebody from within council to answer the questions in my report, but I don't think that I will be lucky enough to get that. So I'm not going to go on about that. I've said it all.
Do you want to formalise a resolution around Mr Wagner's letter?
Haven't we done that?
Yeah, we already done that.
Oh, we did, yeah. Because it was 2 or 3 months ago.
Yes, but these report things and asking for reports on what we're asking about now, we put our agenda 1 week before this meeting, and we only really need by law to get it within 2 clear working days, but having the agenda prepared a week prior means that there isn't really time for us to get our reports in, because we have to have our reports in about a week afterwards or something after the meeting. It doesn't really give us time to raise anything too much, and it doesn't give the staff time, like staff from the wastewater department or whoever, to give us a report on what's happening in those areas, because governance staff or Bev can't just go to them and get a report tomorrow. They need time to do it. So I think they need to put out the times for getting reports through publications or whoever it is, and then get us our agendas a bit later. Those dates need looking at, in my opinion.
So the reports are due next week. The report.
That's what we
Well, not a lot's going to happen between now and then, is it?
I'm just sort of saying. Is that you, Cheryl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Stuart, I love reports. Sorry, I just didn't do it. But it doesn't mean I haven't been doing anything. Yeah, haven't got a lot to report. And there is a online national CBIC, community board meeting on Thursday at 1. If you love to see some of our Hiku members online. Mr. Member Zabriskie loves online meetings. I haven't got the agenda in front of me, sorry.
Isn't it Tuesday at 1?
Oh, is it Tuesday? What did I think of Thursday?
No, next week.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Next week, is it?
Yeah, sorry. 23rd. Sorry. Got that wrong. Nothing else to report from me. I've just finished the Far North Community Forest Trust submission around our annual reports that we have to do for the trust, it being a charitable trust as such. But that particular group won't be meeting, and we meet once a year as a AGM, but I've been advised that the trees shouldn't be touched for another 8 to 10 years.
Which is okay as long as somebody keeps an eye on them and to make sure that the trust gets the money.
So I told Peter Jackson, you keep drinking your aloe vera because you're on I don't want to change the board again.
What do you say to that?
There's a few people that are very helpful. Greg Hodgson, Evan Bird, a few others.
It's just that the lease comes up, as you know, for renewal in 2036, and some of us will be dead by then. So somebody young like you needs to keep an eye on the fact that it's community land and we need the money, or this community needs the money from it.
Sorry, that's me, Chair. That's you, thank you.
Matt. Sorry.
Councillor.
Oh, sure. I like you, Bill. I'm really lost for any sort of progress on the Kaitaia Airport. I know we sent a joint letter on May the 16th on behalf of the Capital Finance Holdings and No Takoto, and have asked Shane in desperation, even though I'm a little bit mad with him about his treaty comments, in desperation asked him to follow up, and he said he would. So that's Kaitaia Airport. Cody Dam, just to say that it has been titled decommissioned. Des Mahoney isn't very good at the moment, but there's a few things that just need to be done by the council in terms of, there was 10 days work that needed to be finished up because of the wet weather, which will happen in about October, November, but the dam is fully commissioned. And the things that the council has to follow up on the land surrounding lands were taken by Public Works Act in the 1930s, and taking the Gazette notices of that and then returning that, I suppose, that mana back to the trust and also associated landowners. That's one part, and I think that's the main thing, take the Gazette notices, and also that it has to, the land blocks are all Māori land, and that they should be rated as one block of land rather than a number of blocks. So that's something that's just been followed up on. And next week we have our infrastructure meetings, and they cover two areas, roading and far north waters, which is, I think, is kind of a really big subject, and anyhow, roading priorities are sort of given there, roading and also water priorities. I am concerned about something that was raised that hasn't really, it's about sewage, wastewater treatment plants. We have 17 in our area, that they're all ancient, that they're hugely costly to fix, but also unless we as a council and communities think about dealing with our own site in our own backyard. So at the moment there's this thing about when septic tanks are emptied, it's taken over to the Hokianga and dumped. And they have been asking for to buy a 10-acre site nearby, which is in the program. But also the impact of sludge. And every wastewater treatment plant creates sludge, etc., etc. But that gets transported as well. So yeah, I'm a little, I can't, to fix up something, sometimes we just get up and truck something out of an area into somebody else's area. So I'm just sort of putting it for warning that in the Kaitaia area. And so I think that what's been good is Kaitaia councillors and even in the beach board have sort of made note that we are not open to taking sludge to Kaitaia wastewater treatment plant, mainly because we're high flood risk. We're all concerned about, when the waters rise, and we don't believe we have the capacity to take it, even though a desktop machine might say we can. So I'm just sort of kind of highlighting that. And something I just say to our councillor friends, colleagues, is that it was great to get the rates down low, but we have to keep it like that for next year as well. And it's, you can't just say it's low this year and then it'll be okay to put it up to double digits. So I think that's just something I'll be, on my wire to pay for the next few months, so that we don't, just saying that.
Well, part of it was $5 million thing from Farmers Holdings. If that's coming to reduce the rates, fine on one hand, but on the other hand, does that mean there's $5 million that Farmers Holdings can't invest in a project that benefits people? So the council needs to look at what its excesses might be and not rely on Farmers Holdings to bail it out effectively.
Yeah. I think the CE did quite a deep scrutiny into all of it. So it won't be like that next year. But we're happy.
So that's,
that's my report.
Thank you very much, everybody. So I guess the last thing I need to say is all in favour.
Aye.
Thank you. That's a last one. So we're going to close our meeting now. So who would like to do the closing out of here?
That's fine. We should do it all.
Tēnā tātou, I te kaihanga o ngā mea katoa. Te aki pai tēnei rōpū me tātou hāpuri ngā hapunga i ngā mokopuna ngā kaumātua kuia. Kia whai oranga mo tātou o ake tonu aio. Kia ora.
Thank you. And we have Lizzie Graham here to go through the funding policy as well. Mm-hmm. So if you do that before lunch, if you like.
How long will it take?
Has everybody read the policy?
Yep.
Thank you.